Chapter 2, Mishnah 1. The second chapter of this tractate deals with the laws of Harchakas Nizakin, which literally means distancing of damages. Even within a person's own property, in many circumstances, he may not perform acts such as digging, building, or storing hazardous materials if they will cause damage to the property of his neighbor. He therefore may not do certain things or store certain materials near the edge of his property where they are likely to cause harm. These laws are explained in the following Mishnahs. The Mishnah begins by discussing one who wishes to dig various types of pits in his own property. A person may not dig a pit in which to store water at the edge of his property near the pit of his fellow, that is, directly opposite his neighbor's pit. Nor may he dig a ditch, a long and narrow pit, a vault, a square pit covered with a roof in which there is an opening, an irrigation ditch, or a laundering pool near the pit of his fellow, because this can damage his neighbor's pit. He may not dig any of these unless he distances the outer edge of the hole of his pit, or ditch, etc., from the wall of the pit of his fellow by at least 3 tefachim, so that it will not cause any damage to his neighbor's pit. And he must also coat the inside of his pit with lime. The Mishnah now lists materials that may not be stored near a brick or stone wall of a neighbor. One must distance piles of olive pulp, the refuse that remains after olives have been pressed and their oil extracted, manure, salt, lime, or flint stones, which were used to produce fire, at least 3 tefachim from the wall of its fellow, because heat given off by these items can damage the wall. Or, if he wishes, he can coat the neighbor's wall with a thin layer of lime to protect it instead. The Mishnah lists more actions that may not be performed too close to a neighbor's wall. One must distance the planting of seeds, plowing, or urinating at least 3 tefachim from his neighbor's wall, because doing any of these things too close to the wall can weaken it. Finally, the Mishnah lists appliances that must be kept away from a neighbor's wall. One must distance his millstones from a neighbor's wall and set them up so that the wall is at least 3 tefachim from the lying, i.e. lower stone, which is 4 tefachim from the riding, i.e. upper stone. This distancing is required so that the vibrations caused by the millstones will not shake the nearby ground and weaken the wall. And an oven must also be distanced from a neighbor's wall so that the wall is at least 3 tefachim from the bottom of the base of the oven, which is 4 tefachim from the upper lip of the base, because the heat of an oven is harmful to a wall.